I'm also in between rattle canning the 1980 GMC. Quick paint job. I wouldn't even call it a paint job, more like we're just gonna give a little bit of more color to it over top of what was there. Well, that worked enough to get it spooled in, and the cable's not wrapped around the bumper anymore. I think the last time I went to use the winch, it was pulling such a load, demanding so much juice, it melted the cable ends off. I got another ground one put on. The positive, I just clamped to the battery for now to get this going, to get it spooled in. Also use the high lift, and don't know what was going on with the bumper bolts. I broke this side off trying to or broke the bolt off on this side trying to get it to loosen up, because I was trying to jack it up and level it, because this side was like pitched down for some reason, and I don't know why, but it looked like I had specifically drilled a hole in the frame that sat a little lower than the existing hole, and I had the bolt in that. I don't understand, because I had this bumper level when I put it on, but I basically loosened everything, raised it up to the other original bolt hole that's there in the frame, got a new bolt put in that, and then tightened everything down, and it's somewhat level now. So we are getting closer. I got to paint the hood, the tailgate, finish the white center here, and the two blue spots on the back of the bed. So we're getting closer to bringing the 1980 GMC back to the Moyie Mud Bogs 20 years later. This will be my 21st year. This is my new paint job, rattle canned. Don't look too close, but at least it's not all faded out anymore. I got a fender flare I found. It was, well, up there, and I got it painted black because it was kind of this medium or metallic blue color, and all the other ones on that are black. So we'll try to put this fender flare on. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing, so it matches the rest. So I'm going to try to put this fender flare on. I think they just dropped off Tiffany's stuff. I was at the gas station filling up that, and just the short time it took to do that, absolutely would not start. I had to crack the injectors, bleed air out of the system. Barely got it fired again, so we can drop it off. I don't know what to do, because I don't want to shut it off again. Parked kind of downhill on the hill here, so I can try to coast roll start it. Just out of curiosity, I'm going to shut it off. Fires right up. Okay, now let's see what happens in about 15 minutes after I unload that. Well, 20 years later from 2005, I remember 20 years ago, drove that here. It had never been on a trailer before. After the engine seized up that weekend and put it back together, it was running again, but had someone bring my trailer and load it on the trailer and towed it home. That was the first time this truck has ever been on a trailer, was leaving here, which was a good thing, because the engine that we put the crank and bearings in, well, let's just say the clearances weren't right and it was knocking again. So anyways, gonna unload here and get ready for Moyie 2025. Man, we're getting old. Got it unloaded and parked. Of course, in the process, it now doesn't want to run. Everything was good on it when I loaded it. Everything seemed to be fine. Checked everything. Of course, now that I unloaded it, doesn't want to steer, doesn't want to stay running, and the brake pedal like went to the floor and stayed there. So I don't know what's going on. Typical. Didn't want to have to work on it here, but clearly there's some other things to work on. So we're gonna head off and try to get a blazer if this will start, which this may not start, and if I shut it off later it won't start. Yeah, it's fine when I'm not at a gas station or like blocking a lane. Well, it is time to take this engine out, and while I'm working on this, I'm trying to figure out what's going to go back in it next. Well, I really hope that I didn't damage the block and it's something that I can go into and maybe, well, I don't know if I got to replace the crank or just bearings, or really just got to get it apart and find out. But I want to get this thing running again and maybe, well, put it in something else. So I got a ton of things going on. I was pulling an engine over there. Started to pull front end springs over there. The engine's out of the truck blazer, but it's in the shop with another engine that I can't finish because I can't find my tool for sucking the harmonic balancer all the way on. Otherwise it would probably be back in there, but now I can't put it in there anyways because I need the flex plate off the engine that's over there on the other side of the loader. What am I doing? Oh, change tires on the dually. Gotta change oil in it. Change tires on the trailer. Tighten the lug nuts on this, on too tall. Change fuel filters. Now let's see if it'll start up for the very first time of the year. There we go. Let this warm up and I'll go do something else. So when I loaded too tall on the trailer, I lost my shifting ability. Trying to figure out what was going on with the cable. I'm looking at it and I still don't know what's going on with the shift cable. This was, well, that's how this was, and I don't know what. Let's find out what is going on here. There's a bunch of zip ties. There's this thing, and I don't understand what it's all doing. Like, what is this? And why is it zip tied or clamped to the side of this cable? Hose clamps around zip ties around whatever this valve type thing is that's not hooked to anything. I need to get both hands in here and try to figure out what the heck this is. So don't make fun. It's what I can come up with in a hurry with hose clamps, which I think is better than zip ties in this case. Let's not look at it too closely because it is also very... I wouldn't do this to anyone else's vehicle, let me put it that way. And right now the shifter cable is not going to come off. Whatever this thingy is, it spins and turns, so it's pretty much got to be clamped to this thing, which these screws do not come out. They don't even have normal screw heads. Maybe they do come out, but I don't have a well, whatever shape, whatever. So it's on there. It's better than it was. If it shifts, it shifts. I just showed up with John's Toyota to store it here for a while. Easier to cut the brackets off the frame. Oh, geez, there's all kinds of traffic on this. Stealing my roll bar?
What?
Stealing my roll bar?
No, I'm not stealing it.
I think someone caught you in the act back there.
Seeing how it would look.
Oh, sure.
Because it is a Toyota roll bar.
Well, it might be.
Busted is what we got.
Trying to sneak around the traffic jam, get to the goods. John and Ricky are back there.
What are they doing?
Driving the trailer all the way back into the spot instead of unloading in the field and towing it back.
The Toyota?
Yeah. So now you gotta drive by there and go look at the Toyota on your way back. You want me to take over so you can finish stealing this roll bar?
I'm not stealing it. I'm just seeing how it looks.
Well, we can see now. The angle's not right. The
Well,
cab's got
it's not mounted.
This is just like a little example.
Oh, no, angle's all off. Just for the wrong ear. Well, things are getting a little congested in the driveway. Got to get the trailer over here to back in next to the welder now. Got other Sawzall batteries. I think Tommy's robbing driveline parts from the parts truck for that one. That one's almost done. He's got the transfer case swapped. I gotta go get the track bar and brackets off this frame. It's like take me driving back here about 3 or 4 times. So I just saws all off the whole bracket and everything, both side brackets. So we got some material to work with for welding and mounting these things. Alright, we're fixing the trailer. I gotta get this bar on here.
And it's tight.
Use this trailer. Oh, look at that. All the lights work.
Damn.
Passenger bracket on the spring plate done first, and we'll make modifications to the driver's side and get it attached. Essentially what was happening with this is this truck was straight axle before I got it. They used square body length leaf springs. There was no sway bar or track bar put in it. It has crossover steering. Well, it was fine for a while. Over time, the front end shaking everything, and the play in these bushings got bad to where it started doing high-speed death wobble. Went through almost every steering component in this, and the kingpins and the cones and everything. Steering box is fine. Drag link ends are fine. Still death wobbled. So leaf spring bushings were shot. Got these leaf springs with almost brand new, I should say low miles, but several year old bushings in them from another square body that got parted out. So just put those whole springs in with the bushings, and now we're going to add a track bar, our homemade track bar, to kind of make up for no sway bar or anything, to keep any movement, side to side movement, at a minimum if we can. Alright, time to set this thing down on the ground. We'll see how this track bar and new used bushings works out. Oh. So as horrible as this fuel line looked, Skip dropped the tank down. We found this line, pulled it out, replaced it. Thought, well, maybe this is why it's not pulling up fuel properly or enough, and it's sucking air from this. And put a new piece of line on. Nothing else looks bad. All the connections look good. Fired it up, and it still acts like it's just starving for fuel. So gonna have to drop the tank the rest of the way out and actually look inside the tank to see if there's sediment and stuff clogging up the sock, and then go from there, I guess. But Budget Suburban is still not ready. All right, they got this pretty much ready to pull out last weekend, so now it physically just needs to be pulled out.
Yeet.
And then put back in again within 24 hours. Use the forklift to lift it out. And tilt back.
Yep.
Alright, so the reason this is out is because basically rear main seal is leaking. Rear main seal got wiped out because I told him to put flywheel on just before the engine went in. Most cranks usually have a dowel pin, so they can only go one way. If it's 454 externally balanced, has to go one way on the flywheel. Well, this one didn't. I didn't double check it. He didn't realize that was required, so put the flywheel on. It was clocked wrong. Noticed a vibration during the break-in process when we were at Moses Lake, and I'm like, looked underneath. had the balance weight on the flywheel. I was like, this has got to be the right flywheel unless there was some mix up or something happened. Anyways, after Moses Lake got it, transmission pulled back, unbolted the flywheel, found out it was not clocked correctly, clocked it correctly, and then ran it in balance. But the problem is that it had already been run out of balance, rear main seal wiped out. Well, what does that mean? Well, it's not great on main bearings to be out of balance, so we got to check those. We should have checked. I mean, the right thing to do would have been to have pulled it out immediately and looked into that vibration, but we were just out of time and didn't know what was even going on. You didn't feel it that bad, except at certain RPMs, it seemed like that's when you'd really notice it, and I wasn't really the one driving it. So anyways, hopefully the bearings are okay. We got another set of new bearings just in case, and just got to check those out, do at least a rear main seal at minimum, and put it back together and try to put it back in. So Steven made us the antifreeze filterator 6000 out of some spare RV parts in a house water filter. So we're gonna use that to get the antifreeze back in. We're gonna recycle what we can, reuse it. Yeah, I don't like the look of that. So believe it or not, we don't have enough engine stands. Actually, we do, but all the engine stand heads that I bought, well, they don't fit in the one stand over there. They fit in this one, but we got to drill a hole so that we don't just lose control of it. But for some reason, all the other engine stands seem to be in use. Don't know how that happened, but it happened. And I guess if I had more engine stands anyways that were functional, they would, well, we're about running out of space. So for now, we're just going to use the one with the broken casters, drill a hole in the engine stand head that I bought at the swap meet so it doesn't roll on us, and we'll go that route. Moment of honesty. What's
A little sludgy.
the chunks?
Yep, it's like rubber chunks.
Rubber chunks?
Yeah.
Stink bug?
A stink bug?
Well, I mean, he got ground up in there too. I don't like the look of that. Okay. Definitely some scratches on there. And if it was enough to wipe out this seal. So this is what happened to this rear main seal. That is horrible right there. You pull that up and out.
That was this side.
Yeah, it's hammered.
Roll this out.
There's the leak. Don't know if that's the result of the out of balance or what. Ow, it's a lot of scratches. I mean, it kind of makes sense that they're going to progressively be worse towards the rear where it was flywheel was out of balance. It's not the right way to do things. We're going to do it anyways. We're just going to throw these in there and make it go. All right, so new bearings are in. I didn't show the process so that no one could tell us what we were doing wrong. We did still do it wrong, but now there's no proof of it. So
we did it right.
we're going to torque everything back down. We're not going to check any clearances because even if we check the clearances and they're wrong, we're still going to run it anyways. So let's save some time and just put it in. Torquing the main caps.
Click, click. We got some compression.
Yeah. But it doesn't feel like it's hanging up, just compression. It's turning over without binding up, so that's always a good sign. So this time we're making sure it goes on the correct way this time. This is very important on an externally balanced engine. Pallet form.
Normally, I just back up my truck.
On a mission to get power steering lines. Trying to get power steering hooked back up on this. That line will not fit. Got seat belts, replacement seat belts for the camo blazer going in. Also, the starter has gone out in it. So I don't know how many starters this has eaten, but there's another one. Yep. Going on the 16th time the starter's been on. Yeah, it's not really perfect, but it's going the way it is. So today John worked more on the van, got a brake booster off that parts truck that Skip brought up here, the newer Dodge. He's going to try to go to power brakes on this. He's also got switching tires over. We're going to put 38-inch swampers on it, but he's got to check out his brakes on this. Still undecided on if he's going to take it this weekend. It's looking more like not if the brakes aren't ready and everything. Finally finished pulling the 502 out of the black dually. Try to do everything properly and clean, no cutting or rushing anything. Wanted to keep everything clean because I do want to put a 454 back in this and keep this truck together. Probably going to go to headers though, so I probably will remove the exhaust manifolds and the collectors for those in favor of headers. But for now, we're just going to close this up until I get a chance later on to put a 454 back in this. One of 3 454s in the shop. Haven't decided which one yet. But we'll get the tools put away, get back to work on the engine that came out of this. Need the flex plate off of it. I literally just need the flex plate off of this for that because it's balanced for the 502 Gen 5 one-piece rear main crank. Different balance than a 454 that's a Gen 5 or 6. So need this. Had to pull the engine anyways though. What a bird. Yeah, here we are. It's like 11 something at night. Back home just in time to not want to stay up later and work on anything. I like my sleep these days, so I'm going to go to sleep. I hope to be back at least in time to edit on a video, but nope. So off to bed it is. Try to get up tomorrow. Back to everything. So we got the tire mounted up on the wheel for the stacked truck. Got the Reese fuel, got oil, we got some other stuff. It's the only way I'll ever find my puller installer up here, the Max one, is to buy a cheaper one. I can't keep waiting for that one to just randomly reappear again like it did last time it disappeared. So we've already looked everywhere for it. Just bought another one. Hopefully this one works well enough to get that balancer on. We got a huge mess in the shop again. Yeah. So now I just gotta force that on the rest of the way. so it's fully seated, just so we can put the pulley on and the rest of the stuff. So apparently no one around here makes a crab cap. You can get them online. It takes a while. I tried ordering one a while ago, but it wasn't going to be here in time anyways. So let's just skip that idea. Regular MSD is way easier to get a cap for. Everyone carries those. So I was trying to just throw a cap on here and run it because this was already in time and everything. It was running. But nope, got a pull distributor too, which isn't a big deal. And then also this harmonic balancer will not budge. If I force anything anymore, I'm going to pull threads out of the snout of the crank, which I don't want to do. Maybe that's why the balancer isn't all the way on. So my only other alternative is pull the harmonic balancer off this 502, the same one that's donating its flex plate, and try to put on there and see if it'll actually go on normally. All right, don't know why it's so uncommon of a cap for these, but we are going to put you somewhere else. Grab a regular MSD. So I went to grab one of the regular MSD distributors, and then I found this. I didn't own this before. So I put that back on again. Flip this so we're pulling the harmonic balancer off. At least it's coming off. So we can hopefully take the one off there and put on here. Alright, it's got the C4 going. Pull it out from where it was parked for the winter. Gotta go through and check everything on it now. Was not expecting to have to weld on this. I need to stop looking at this truck. But the new oil filter's on. Maybe it's ready this time. Maybe. Find out. You can hear that new oil. Went inside to eat for 15 minutes and everyone showed up.
My fault.
It's Mud's fault. It's always Mud's fault. That's Mud's
I
fault.
told Alan this weekend, I said, anything that's wrong, anything that goes wrong, my fault.
I blame you for everything.
Even if I didn't even touch it, it's my
You're not
fault.
even going to be around. You're going to be 100 miles away. I'm blaming you. Exact same thing you already
Alright,
got.
so we're going to get the distributor in. Got this to top dead center number 1. I think this is all that's left and we can fire this. Okay, catch it on fire. Neutral.
Control assist. Fire the hole.
What's oil pressure doing?
70.
And got some welding to do on it. More stuff off our plate that's done many things for us already. Extra brace here for this track bar. Alright, so that's welded up enough. We're supposed to change leaf springs. We're supposed to, I don't know, there's still a long list. Probably needs a crankshaft. Different engine, but, you know, safety last. This has nothing to do with safety. It's just to mount these chrome lights. So if you angle up like that,
That's where it's supposed to be at.
tack weld it there. I think that's close enough. You could put a little, fill that in with some weld.
Square tube. Ratchet strap it down. Don't worry about that. You need.
Oh, that just shows that it must have
Or-
worked at one point.
Or
So right up here is where I keep my front main bearing from the blue and white GMC from 2005. The first full weekend that I stayed at Moyie. It was the second year that I'd gone to Moyie, but the first weekend we camped out for the entire weekend. It was the first year I brought the GMC there, drove it there, and on Friday, after about 7 passes through the pit, Spun this front main bearing, it jammed itself into the gears of the gear drive and locked up the engine. So let's take a whiff.